5 days after she gave birth, Tiffiny was in her hospital room dressing her newborn son in a jacket and booties hand-knitted by his grandmother. She knew she looked sleep-deprived and puffy, but she decided to go ahead and take a photograph in the bathroom mirror. Anyway, little Arnold was just too adorable in that outfit. So she took the photo and posted it on Instagram. "I am so proud of my body creating this beautiful baby boy," she wrote. "Arnold, my tiny knitwear model, what a joy you are." And with that, the former gladiator and the Biggest Loser trainer retreated back into the cocoon of love. She and her husband, radio and TV star Ed Carvalli, were enjoying with their new son. But when she next logged onto Instagram, Hull was astounded. "All the comments were about my tummy and not my gorgeous baby," she tells Stella. "I was wearing a singlet and I still looked very pregnant with fat arms, yet all these women were thanking me for being honest in showing my body. It made me realize that women really do feel pressure to bounce back, even 5 days after having a baby. I thought, that's it, I'm going to keep putting out images of my body." Source News Corp Australia. Without realizing it, the 33-year-old, swollen belly, nursing top and all, had hit a nerve, providing her followers with a rare dose of normalcy. 250,000 people have viewed the photo, and Hall, who once wowed Australia with her trim figure and sculpted abdominals, is now the poster girl for honest, genuine post-baby bodies. "I'm not going to sacrifice time with Arnold to go to the gym, and I'm not going to sacrifice my milk supply by dieting," she tells Stella. "I don't want to waste a single delicious newborn minute worrying or obsessing about my body." For his part, Carvalli was bemused. Having made a career out of the comical on radio and, more recently, on TV's Have You Been Paying Attention? He is incredulous at the insight his wife's post gave him into the pressures women face. "I can't believe there's an industry in what I call pregnancy. Doesn't affect me at all," he says with a laugh. "Comedians have a bullshit meter where we look at the gap between what's being presented and what's true. What other surgery do people expect you to be completely rid of 5 days after you've had it? If I had a liver transplant, no one would expect me to be on Instagram 5 days later with the hashtag #noliver. No one expects you to break your arm and be #javelin." Indeed, as the couple pose for their stellar shoot, with Arnold, now almost 13 weeks and dressed in more delightful handmade knits, they reveal Hall has been inundated with offers to showcase her weight loss and return to a bikini body in magazine features. Some must have presumed that as the face and body of the Tiffiny fitness and diet program, with its 25,000 members, she would be anxious to be back in peak condition. "Having a baby is a huge thing and the recovery is important," she says, gazing at her son. "I was stretched and sore and raw, and emotionally I was shattered. I was concerned about putting out pictures of my body, but Ed told me I looked beautiful and to go for it. If the members of my program judge me, then I don't need those members. I'm happy having the right kind of people on my program." If the reaction to Hall's decision offers insight into the modern airbrushing of motherhood, then it also illuminates the preconceptions we can have of those we do not know. To many, the former gladiator named Angel seemed like a freakishly fit version of womanhood, with her swathe of blonde hair, golden skin and biceps as pumped as her pillowy lips. But look beyond the lycra hot pants and high kicks, and you discover a girl as grounded and ordinary as the viewers who grew so captivated by her on television. Hall grew up in Brunswick West, an inner suburb of Melbourne, where her parents were taekwondo instructors. She worked hard in the family dojo, gained 2 degrees at university, started working as a journalist and threw herself into fitness because it genuinely made her happy. When Carvalli decided to interview her for his radio show, he had become bewitched after watching an episode of Gladiators. He realized she was as much girl next door as goddess. He was smitten, she'd barely noticed him. Hall laughs, "I was in the zone about to tear someone down from 30 meters in the air. I wasn't up for flirting." But Carvalli, who will begin hosting breakfast radio on Sydney's Today FM with M. Russiano in the new year, kept asking Hall to come into the studio. Hall takes up the story in the end. "I said, for goodness sake, ask me out for dinner rather than calling me in to do breakfast radio at silly hours." He was like, "Oh, okay." I gave him my number and we have been inseparable ever since. Source News Corp Australia. Decade on, they are a team in every sense of the word. When Carvalli, 38, leaves at 4:30 a.m. for radio, he discovers his wife has drawn faces and messages on his boiled eggs. He prints photos of the two, now 3, of them and regards Arnold's soaking nappies as cause for celebration. I'm so proud of Diff. It's like, wow, what an amazing job she must have done feeding him to get a nappy like that. Since Annie came along I love my partner so much more. I'm so impressed by the small things. Hall, likewise, is overwhelmed with love for Carver, particularly because of his support through her difficult pregnancy. Similar to the Duchess of Cambridge, she suffered extreme sickness that lasted all day, and was twice hospitalized suffering dehydration. Ed was so supportive, she says. He'd hold bowls filled with water and fresh ginger for me to sniff because I couldn't even hold the bowl. He'd hold back my hair when I was sick, and he even filmed some fitness videos for me and my members because I was too sick to do it. If the pregnancy was arduous, Arnold's birth was no less eventful. At a routine appointment, Hall discovered she was 2 centimeters dilated and labor progressed suddenly. When Arnold's heart rate dropped, Carver grew teary, but Hall insisted he coach her through the birth so she could deliver their son safely. The little boy was born on September 11, weighing 3.42 kilos and measuring 48 centimeters. Carver had come up with the name Arnold after discussing Brisbane Broncos star Alan Alfie on a radio. Arnold, he says, sounded similar, and besides, they'd been beaten to their other favorite. Friends had just recently named their new dog Hank. Despite her horrific pregnancy, Hall says she was ready to have another baby from the second Arnold was born. I can't believe how awesome it is. I was so fearful that something was wrong with my baby because of how sick I was. I was so relieved when he came out. Now my whole day revolves around his smiles. Carver adds that he now has more appreciation for couples who start large families. I can see how much love we have for him and how much we have for each other, and I can understand how people end up with 9 kids. They are adjusting to parenthood, and laugh that getting to the post office and back is now worthy of a high five. But they resist the idea that they should be commended for keeping it real. Yet given that she garnered so much support for being transparent and open about her pregnancy, her labor and the changes to her body, it is worth wondering if Hall now feels pressure not to lose that baby weight. That's a good question, she says thoughtfully. I always looked very fit because my body was functional and I love fitness and it made me feel happy. For now, though, I like doing my 20-minute workouts at home with Arnie because it makes me feel good and like I can take on the day. She pauses, aware other mums are keen to gobble up her views on everything from sleep schedules to breastfeeding. But her honesty is not a brand, it's who she is. I've always been about exercise that makes you happy, not deprivation or punishment. I'm not sure where I'll land, or if I'll ever be a size 6 again. She smiles. Right now I've still got a mum pouch. I don't know if I'll have it in 6 months. If I do, I'll be rocking it.